Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for today's video. I have been working on nailing down a good 10-minute makeup routine, just something that makes me feel confident and put together but doesn't take a whole lot of time. And it's been a really nice change for the summertime because I've been going a lot more lightweight with makeup. Don't get me wrong, I love a good full coverage foundation. I love colorful eyeshadow, winged liner, but I've really cut back during the summertime and I just have more of a comfortable makeup routine that allows my natural skin to show through, and that saves me time in the morning. I feel like there's this misconception that summer is relaxing, and I guess it can be, it's all up to you, but I feel like summer is sometimes so crazy, and even when it's not crazy, I just want to be outside enjoying the summer weather, and I don't want to be inside applying a ton of makeup, especially if it's just going to melt off. So I've nailed down what I would consider like my perfect 10-minute makeup routine. I thought I would share it with you. All of the products that I'm using in today's video are either drugstore products or they're super affordable and you can find them at Ulta Beauty. So I'm excited about that as well. Let's jump into it and I'll show you guys how I got this look. So the first thing that I have been doing is going in with a primer because it is summertime and I'm not taking the time to go in with like a super matte, full coverage, flawless base. I do think that taking a few seconds to go in with an oil controlling primer does make a big difference. So I've been using the e.l.f. Oil Control Primer Mist for the majority of the summertime. Now you can spray this directly onto your face, but I don't find that the mister is that great. So I usually just take it and press it directly into my skin wherever I get the most oily. I've been using the ColourPop No Filter Concealer as foundation for as long as I can remember, ever since they first released it. There's something about the texture of this product that just sits on the skin so nicely and it wears really beautifully throughout the day. It looks more like skin the longer that I wear it. So I really enjoy this one. It's very, very blendable. It's more of like a medium coverage foundation and it stays pretty matte throughout the day. So I'm currently using the shade L18. Mine's actually almost gone because I have been using it the majority of the summer. So what I do with this is I usually focus it on the outside of my face. I just kind of go over any areas that tend to be a little bit red, but for the most part, I just want more of like an even application. And then I find really focusing this on the outside of my face looks the most natural. I do still want everything to look even, so I do apply some in the center, but again, as it wears away, it just looks very natural. Now, what I've noticed since I've been doing this a lot more recently is that I don't really need to conceal my under eyes a lot. I think out of habit, I just go in and apply a ton of concealer under my eyes, but I don't really struggle with super dark under eye circles. And during the summer, that's where my makeup tends to look the most heavy, the most cakey, because it does cake up around my nose. It gets really oily in that area, so I tend to skip it as much as possible. At least when I'm doing like a 10-minute makeup routine. So I'm just taking a buffing brush. This one is from Real Techniques, and I'm just going to buff this concealer into my skin. Because I'm usually in a hurry when I'm doing this, I'll just quickly blend it out really well and make sure that there aren't really any harsh lines and everything just looks very seamless. I did get a little bit of a tan, so I feel like I could probably go up a shade or two, but I do think this concealer tends to oxidize a little bit. So like I said, I'm just blending everything out and then I kind of bring it down onto my neck a little bit too. But because I didn't go in with too much product, I don't usually notice that there's a distinct line between my face and my neck. And then I'll usually just blend a very small amount on my eyelids just because they do tend to look red, and then I'll bring it right under my eyes, but I don't actually go in and conceal my under eyes. So essentially that is what the base looks like. I feel like my skin actually looks like skin. You can see freckles, you can see a little bit of redness. If I have a breakout, you can still kind of see it, but the goal isn't to create like a blank canvas. The goal is just to kind of conceal a little bit and even out the skin tone slightly. So I feel like overall it looks a lot more natural. Now I do set everything into place with powder. I've actually been using this one from e.l.f. It is the Perfect Finish HD powder. It reminds me a lot of the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores, but it's a lot more affordable. So I've just been taking like a fluffy brush and just kind of stippling it over my face. I don't really buff the powder in because I don't want to move around the concealer too much, but I honestly just want to set everything into place because number one, my skin does get oily throughout the day. And number two, this will just kind of lock everything into place and help it wear a little bit longer. So after that, I go in with my ColourPop Brow Boss Gel. This one is in the shade Dark Brown. I usually do this right after I set everything into place because I actually like to give the brow gel a chance to dry before I'll go in and just kind of see if there's anything I need to fill in. If I'm in a really big hurry, I will just run the brow gel through my brows and call it a day. And that's like my 2-minute makeup routine, especially now because I have eyelash extensions. So I just feel like those really make a big difference. If I don't have eyelash extensions, I do take the time to apply mascara. You can see the instant difference between this brow and this brow. If you have pretty sparse brows, the ColourPop Brow Boss Gel is such a great option because it has this waxy texture to it. So I just find that it kind of gives the brows a little bit more of like a fluffy, voluminous effect. And I think the tinted brow gels are amazing because they make your brows, like they add a tint of color, so they look a lot more full just by combing this through them. So I usually let my brow gel dry for a few minutes and then I will go in and kind of touch up any areas that are looking a little bit sparse. So while that is drying, I will usually go in with a bronzer. I love the e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer. I have the shade Forever Sunkissed. This one is perfect because it is incredibly blendable. And then I'll usually just apply it with this brush just to add a little bit of color back to the face. Nothing too crazy. I'm not trying to be too precise. I'll usually take it up above the brow, and then I'll just do the other side as well. So I've really been enjoying the Catrice 3D Glow Highlighter, and this one is in the shade Pinch of Rose. It's a really gorgeous shimmery pink blush. So instead of having to go in with a blush and a highlighter, I feel like this kind of works as a 2-in-1. So I'll usually just kind of lightly sweep this across the cheeks. As you can see, this one is pretty shimmery, so I don't actually like to apply too much. Just like a little something so that, especially if I'm outside, the sun can kind of catch my skin and it will look really shimmery and glowy and pretty. I was talking and then my camera cut out. So the last thing that I do for the base is just take a little bit of concealer and apply it to the freckle on my nose. And then if I have like any really large obvious breakouts, which thankfully hasn't been happening too much lately, but I'll just show you guys since the camera cut out earlier. Like I have a small one right here, so I might just take a tiny small amount and apply it right there, and then I let it dry and just go over it with like a little bit of translucent powder. Okay, so I'm almost done. Like I said, I do have eyelash extensions, which makes a big difference. When I don't have eyelash extensions and I'm doing like a quick look, I'll usually apply mascara, but sometimes I'll take a bronzer and just kind of lightly dust that in the crease. I feel like it just gives the eyes the most subtle definition, and I like how this looks. I usually won't take the time to apply any shadow on my lower lash line or mascara or anything like that, just because it's an extra step that I don't want to be bothered with, but I feel like just adding a little touch of bronzer in the crease makes a big difference. To finish off the brows, I'm just going to use my Covergirl Ultra Fine Brow Pencil, and I have the shade Rich Brown. So I don't want to spend a ton of time on my brows. I feel like brows tend to suck me in and they take up a lot of time because I'm trying to perfect them. I'm trying to get them to look even. When I'm in a hurry, I honestly just want to fill in any super sparse areas. So my goal is to usually just fill them in to make them look a little bit thicker. So I usually just try to create a couple of hair-like strokes just to even it out a little bit. I'm technically cheating because this is a high-end product. This is the Urban Decay Brow Blade, but I do use the ink stain side to kind of make my brows look a little bit more realistic. This takes 2 seconds, but it makes your brows look so much more realistic in my opinion. I just lightly run this through my brows and it looks, or they look more hair-like. I've been loving these Milani Keep It Full Nourishing Lip Plumpers, and I have the shade Rosy Bronze, which is a dupe for the Fenty Gloss in the shade Fenty Glow. I love this shade for summertime. I feel like it just adds a really pretty light hint of color to the lips. Okay guys, so those are all of the steps that I take when I'm doing like a quick and easy makeup look for the summertime. I might go in with like a little bit of eyeshadow, a brighter lip, but essentially this is my go-to look. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. As you can tell, my skin doesn't necessarily look flawless or perfected, but I feel like it looks like skin. It's really lightweight and it's comfortable, so it's been my favorite for the summertime. If you guys have like a quick and easy makeup look, or you have a go-to routine when you're in a hurry or you don't want to take the time to do a full coverage look, I would love to hear from you. Let me know which products you use and which steps you take. Otherwise, I'll see you guys very soon with a new video. Bye.